Good afternoon. Today I wanted to come on here. It's been a while, but I wanted to talk about private pay and the getting the facility contracts, and I wanted to talk about like some of the ups and the downs. Like within that, I see a lot of people right now. The biggest thing is how do I get contracts? How do I get my customers? So a lot of people are telling you, like go after like the nursing homes, the skilled facilities, like all these different avenues of different ways you can make income. And they're telling you to not go like the broker route, or don't go get contracts with the Care First Blue Shield or Molina or whatever company it may be. And I just kind of want to give like a little bit backstory about us and how we started. And I know I touched on it a little bit on another video, but I'm gonna touch on it a little bit on this one. So when we first started, I was actually working for a company that was one of the bigger companies that contract out to a lot of people. And with that company, when I decided to let that job go and make the transition into like starting our business on our own and like just thriving to get everything like going, I thought that they would have gave us a contract, but I get it now. I didn't get it then. They didn't do it because they felt like if once you quit, we give you a contract, then a lot of other people gonna quit and they're gonna start trying to do the same thing. So with that being said, they pretty much did not want to offer me a contract at all. So we had to take the harder route, and the harder route is building a business 100% on self-pay, assisted livings, nursing homes, like you name it. Like we ended up getting into 20 different ones and getting the contracts with them. The problem of what I'm seeing with that now is that sometimes like people, even though you got these contracts, like they envy you in a way where it's like they'll look at you, they'll see how many patients you coming in there to get a day. They'll look at the fact that your age and the position that they're in. And when they see like, okay, well, I'm in this position as an employee, I'm sending this person X amount of trips. Of course, they know how much you charging for these trips. Sometimes, not all, but some of them, they start to get mad. And when they start to get mad, what they do is they'll start to decrease the amount of trips that you get, or you'll go through little games that say like you show up, patient not ready, and you waited however many times, like whatever you set your wait time as, and you'll be like, okay, well, now it's time for me to leave. Since a lot of these facilities are paying you, they feel like, well, why would you leave if we're paying you? And it's like, well, the same way you're paying us, there's another and another and another and another one that's doing the exact same thing. So we have to honor the contract, not only with you, but with every other contract that we have. And a lot of the times they don't understand it. So what they do is they'll end up particularly pulling the contract. It don't happen often, but it do happen often. And a lot of people, they're going to say, oh, well, I never experienced that. Oh, this never happened to me. I'm only telling you my experience. I cannot speak on what another company's been through. I cannot speak on like how another person set their contract up. Only thing that I can speak on is the things that we've been going through within the last 5 years, and everything that we've been going through within the last 5 years. These are some of the things, I've been working in this industry, like I said, for 9 years, 5 on our own, 4 I did working for 2 other companies. So I've seen a lot. So even with the private pay, like there's times where it's like everybody is so private pay driven. I want to do private pay. I want to do private pay. I don't want contracts. I don't want this. I don't want that. Private pay, private pay, private pay. The problem with private pay is that minus dialysis patients, cancer patients going to the cancer center treatments, and a couple other, a lot of those patients, they don't stick for a long term. Now they'll ride it out with you and they'll stick with you every time they need transport. So like, for example, if a patient got an appointment maybe 4 to 5 times out of a month, yeah, they'll definitely make sure that they contact you and you'll be their primary company that they'll use. But long term, like you got to think some of these patients, they end up getting better. And then when they get better, they don't need you anymore. Some of these patients, like depending on their health, if the health condition starts to worsen, then you'll see companies like Medi-Cal or something else would end up taking over, and then they'll end up taking over the trip, and then they'll end up paying for it. So even though you want to base your business off of self-pay, and you want to make sure that that's like some of the like X amount of percentage of your business, you want to make sure that you are setting in stone other contracts as well. A lot of people, they're going to watch this video, they're going to get to talking, they're going to feel like, well, why is he saying this? Why is he saying that? Why do he feel this way? And like I said, like these are things that I'm seeing. I started off as a self-paying company, and within the 5 years, you got to understand, like sometimes like a lot of these facilities, they have budgets, something that a lot of people don't tell you about or talk to you about. So you can't think like, oh, well, I'm going to become a millionaire off of this one nursing home. No, that nursing home or that assisted living or whatever it may be, they have a budget and they have to stick to that budget. So whether you're doing gurney or you might be doing wheelchair transport, if another patient is in a gurney and say your company might be charging way more than the next company for gurney, or your company may be charging way more than the next person for wheelchair, like it's so many people every day fighting to get these contracts. So somebody's always going to come in with a cheaper price. Somebody's always going to come in and they're going to outbid you. It's just the name of the game. It's been like that since we started the business up, and it's still like that now. So you always want to make sure that no matter what it is that you're doing, like meet somewhere in the middle. Definitely don't under budget or like undershoot yourself to where you doing trips and now you stuck in situations where you can't get vehicles fixed, you can't pay your business permits, gas, like all these other things. So don't put yourself in that situation to where it's like, well, how am I supposed to take care of this? But don't get to a point where you think like, I'm going in and I'm going to be a millionaire and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. It's not going to work like that. Nobody's going to want to do business with you like that. So my best advice for anybody is like, consider your sources in the area in which you live in. See what the need is in the area in which you live in. Some places they may not be servicing certain things, so that private pay might be the best route to take, or it might be these patients, a lot of them got Medi-Cal, or they living off of like it's some type of insurance in place. So you always want to make sure that when you're going into business, like do your research, figure out what it is that you need to do for you, because that's all I'm hearing is private pay, private pay, private pay. How do I get contracts? How do I do this? How do I do that? Really research it. And it's like, for me, I want to say the only ones that I ever really see stick like that and will go with you like consistently every week will be dialysis, and then the patients with cancer. A lot of the other ones which you guys may know, and then for the ones that's looking to get into the industry, you just got to think, how often is somebody going to the doctor's office? That one person that's going, how often are they going? Are they going maybe 3-4 times a month? Because you can't feel or think like this person is going every day, So I just kind of wanted to come on and kind of like shed that light on what, the private pay is. A lot of places, they'll private pay, self-pay, whatever. Just make sure that even when you're doing that, just because it's private pay doesn't mean that money is guaranteed to you, And in this video, I was kind of going to cut it and do another video about it. But what I'm saying, or what I mean by that is, we was transporting a particular patient. They never complained about the price. They never had a problem with anything. But when the patient, once she got out of the nursing home, they basically like went to the bank, told the bank they don't know who this company is that's charging them. and we had to go back and forth over that whole situation. And of course, since it's state bank, of course, they pulled the money out of the account and gave them back their money. So just because you hear people coming out and they telling you this is what it is, this is the move, this is how you should do it, this is how I feel like your best bet, try to get with some of those people in your area and see what they doing, or like talk to some of the like employees in that little area. Oh, what you guys working off of this, or you guys do that, or what type of patients, you don't have to come straight, like don't be a straight shooter, because when you do stuff like that, of course, you're not going to get any information. I think like the whole calling places around and stuff, most people are already picking up on that. So like when you call somebody and you ask it for a certain price, or you doing certain things, a lot of the times they're already picking up on what it is that you're doing, or whatever it is that you may be trying to do. So, especially for the companies that's been in the game for a while, so they're going to give you the runaround, or they might give you a dummy price of whatever you may think like, oh, okay, I got this company to tell me this. But it might be a dummy price because they already know what it is that you're doing, But I just feel like I just wanted to come on here, kind of shed light a little bit, and just let you know, like, figure out like what niche you want to take. Don't be so quick to say private pay and I don't want to do this. You could figure out ways to do both. You could figure out a way to go Medi-Cal and private pay, until you get like a big enough contract. But I'm going to tell you straight out, like, the private pay movement within itself is not going to get you into a situation to where you'll get to rolling and think that this is going to take you all the way to the top. Especially right now, a lot of patients, it's a hard time in this industry. A lot of patients, they starting to get COVID again. You starting to see some of the nursing homes like kind of go backwards to what it used to be. They'll ask you like, yo, do you transport COVID positive patients? But you're not going, like right now, like the industry itself, the whole healthcare industry, it's very up and down, So I would say like utilize your time and use it wisely to figure out what it is that you want to do and keep pushing within that, really like look at your sources out there. Don't be so quick to listen to everybody else and what they telling you. Don't be so quick to say like, I don't want to go this route, I just want to go that route. I'm gonna try to come on here and do more videos. I know it's not gonna be every day. I know I can't cut a video every week. It might be like maybe once, maybe twice a month. If I could push more within that time, then most definitely I'll come out and I'll do it. But this video is mainly like, it's just about considering your sources. Don't be so stuck on private pay. Don't be so stuck on thinking these nursing homes is gonna pay you over their budget. Don't be so stuck on thinking that you're gonna make all these things happen, because you gotta understand, when you're dealing with brokers, it's more so business to business, and it's not as personal. When you're dealing with any facility, it becomes more personal in the sense of the person that you're dealing with, And I could tell you, like, some of these people, they not as nice or as cool as you may think that they are. They get in their feelings a lot. They feel like, well, if I call you last minute, can you do a trip? Don't get too caught up in that. I know a lot of people be like, oh, well, I'm going to do every trip last minute and I'm going to do this. We actually lost the contract doing that. I understand the mindset of doing it. But what happens is the patients get mad. They supposed to be at an appointment at a certain time. All they know is transport did not show up. So when you get there, they don't know, nor do they care who the transport was. They're going to come flying off the wall at you because they feel like now you're just making an excuse on why you was not there on time. So to me, I would say like definitely like it's okay to jump in every now and then, and if you can, like take it. But don't get caught up in that, because sometimes it will go backwards to where like a patient may not like you just off the fact that they felt like you was the one that was supposed to be there. and it wasn't even you, you know, and you'll start losing contracts because they'll go back and they'll tell the admin or tell the person, hey, this person was rude. And given the fact of this may be the first facility that you actually got this contract with, now this is the first thing that they're hearing. So now this person has said it, then they had another last minute person, now that person is saying it. So try to stay away from that. Once you like kind of lock everything in and they know you, you know them, and then you want to take those decisions and say like, okay, yeah, I could do that. Then do it, you know. Stay tuned to the next video. I'm going to come on here. I'm going to kind of talk about some of the ways that we lost contracts. Like I said, I think like with us, like we grew too fast. And a lot of people, they don't understand like how a person can grow too fast. But when you bite on more than you can chew, we jumped up to 20 nursing homes so fast to the point where like everything went from word of mouth. Like they go to meetings, and in those meetings they ask what companies you use and what company is this. And then like given the fact that this company knew that company, you know, it's certain things that we should have said and should have done to put in place to kind of let people know like, yeah, we can. But, you know, please do understand that we busy, but we tried to take on too much more than what we could handle at the time. And now, you know, we know how to manage everything. We know how to go get contracts. We know how to do everything, and it's easy. It's like clockwork, you know. If I say tomorrow I want to go out and get another facility, or if I want to go out and get another this, like to me now, like it's just in me. So it's like, okay, I could go do that. But I just like suggest for people like starting, you only need 1 to 2. 1 to 2. Get that off the ground. Get the ball up and running. I'll touch on that too in another video on why, because there's a lot of issues, a lot of problems, a lot of things that will start to occur that you don't think about, but it will. And I just don't want to cram everything in one video. I'd rather break it up so that it makes sense. But this video is more so about like just like when you get your contracts, like be patient, understand like no matter who you go get these contracts with, they have a budget and they're going to make sure that they work you within that budget. And they're going to make sure that everything has to make sense, not just for you, but for them as well. And it's not about like how rich can I get and how fast can I get rich. It's more so about, are you going to show up on time, do the work, drive in a very professional way, strap these patients down in a very professional way. And I'm not talking about like fancy or anything like that, but like, you know, like safety. Is the safety part of it going to actually be implemented? How are you going to drive as a driver? What are some of the things? Because every time that we ever got a new contract, they always go back to the patient and ask the patient, how was this driver? The patient's opinion is the most powerful part of you getting that new contract. You know, so just stay tuned. I'm going to try to keep coming on. Like the videos, subscribe to the videos, comment on the videos. That way I know you guys listen, and that way I know you guys is hearing some of the things that I'm saying. And we just going to keep working, you know. Hopefully I'll be able to get out as much information as I can, you know, especially being in this industry for 9 years. There's a lot of things that I know. There's a lot of things that I see. I watch companies come in. I watch companies go out. And hopefully this channel will be, this channel will be based on like us actually growing as companies together for the long run. Other than that, man, have a good one. Subscribe to the channel, NENT Business Life, and we just gonna keep getting into it every time we can. All right, with that being said, God bless. Have a good one.